I'm Khan.
I'm James.
Seeing as Mother's Day is right around the corner, we thought it would be fitting to pay tribute to the two most important ladies in our life, which is my mother, Marianne,
And my mother, Alison.
beautiful, caring, determined, hardworking, steadfast.
My mom is fun, beautiful, selfless, extremely caring, and most of all, supportive.
I remember we used to have this little ritual of dancing in the living room. My mom had this huge collection of 7 singles. So it would always be either Boney M or David Kramer, and that would be our weekly thing. We would just dance it out in the living room. I also remember my mom taking me to the library from a really young age, and that's probably the reason why I fell in love with reading. I remember us reading in bed on a Saturday morning, even like the cartoons in the Huisgenoot. And I think I was probably able to write my full name by the time I went to first grade. And if you know me really well, you know I've got a long first name. Nobody made fudge like my mom. I mean, even the ladies in the neighborhood tried a recipe and they just couldn't make it the same.
There's so many, like me and my mom have been best friends for ages, forever. Me and her driving somewhere, shopping, or to my grand's house, and listening to Madonna in the car. I always remember driving to school with my mum. We'd always have a good laugh before the day started, so I'd get it off to her. We'd always sing together. My mum never knew the words of a lot of the songs, so we would have to just sit there, grin and bear it. And then like a week later, my mum would go, I thought the lyrics to that song was this, this and that. Meanwhile, it was that, and this. So yeah. Always a fun time with my mum.
I grew up in a middle class family, and I remember my mom always telling me, you know, you might not have everything that your friends have, but what you have is paid for, and you never ever have to stand back for any of those kids. And I think that is such an important lesson to teach your kids, that because as kids you are so prone to comparing yourself to your classmates, and I think that's something very important to teach your kids, that you should never compare. My mum also worked in the bank. She taught me to save from a really young age, which I'm really happy about. Making provision for the day of tomorrow, and even when I used to get my pocket money as a child, I remember putting away so I could buy Christmas gifts and stuff like that. So that I'm very thankful for.
So the most important lesson that I've learned from my mum was always do what's right for you at that moment, and never apologize for how you feel at that moment. You might not feel that way in 10 minutes, and you can always apologize for what you've done during those feelings, but never apologize for how you feel. Mom always taught us a very valuable lesson of giving is always better than receiving, which it is.
Well, I think my mom and I have always been really close because my dad was working full time. My mom worked I think 3 days a week when I was growing up, so I spent most of my time with my mom, so we've always been close. But obviously you go through your phase as a teenager and you know, you've got your disagreements and stuff like that. But I think now that I'm older, whereas I used to be the one to confide in my mother, I've now found that my mother starts to confide in me. We're able to talk about really deep things in life and have really deep conversations. I think in a sense I also see myself becoming the parent as they're getting older. Maybe even being the one who now gives advice. And I think you just have a greater appreciation for each other as you get older, because now, as a grown-up, you see the things that your parents went through, and you're probably now struggling with the same things that they did. And even though I'm not a parent yet, I know that being an adult is hard, and I know now that my parents did the very best they could. And I think I just appreciate my parents that much more, and I realize that the time you spend together is really precious, and tomorrow is not promised, so you have to make the most of today.
I think that as you get older, you start to realize things that your mom's always told you about or warned you about, and now you sort of live through it. And my mom and I have always just been really open with one another, but I think there's a deeper sense of where we're at this point in our lives as well. We've always described ourselves as best friends and we've grown up together, but I think that there's still that mutual respect for one another as well. And I think as you grow up, you get a sense of each other's space, and I think going from your teens into adulthood is a big struggle for both parents and children. So I think that your communication skills get a lot better and you communicate a whole lot better as well. I think that you get to know one another better, so you know when you hear something and people are like, I'm fine, then you know that they're not actually. So just deeper understanding of one another.
I'd just like to say thank you, Mum, for everything you do for me. We don't always agree on everything, but in the ever-changing landscape that is life, you've been one of the few constants, and I can't ever thank you enough for everything that you've sacrificed and everything that you've done to bring me to where I am and make me the man that I am today. I love you very, very much.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm just going to tell my mum that I love you very, very much, and thank you for always just being there and being supportive and helping me get on my way and showing me the way. Shout out to my mom!
Thank you to all the mums out there for everything you do for us and for making our world a better place. If you're lucky enough to still have your mother around, be sure to treat her well and spoil her this Mother's Day and remind her just how much you love her.
What are your special memories of your mother? Have you done anything special together? So post down below in the comment section.
We will see you guys soon. Till next time. Ciao.
Bye.
They had this little section in the burger where you would see these announcements with pictures of people when they were younger saying, Roy is vandaag 50. And I remember my mom telling my dad and I that she would kill us if we even thought about doing that to her once she hit a milestone birthday. So Mom, sorry about the pics in this video from when you were younger. Please don't kill me.
Love you. Don't go and drink or smoke on the street corners is what my mom always used to tell me. Says, that's scummy, sis. That's my mom.